Hey everyone, so it's Need More Cowbell again, and today we're going to be covering a company called PacketTotal and a tool that they made called SnappyCap. So PacketTotal is a uh, network analysis uh, public web app tool, and it uses a PCAP analysis. So you're going to upload PCAP files to this website, and then using their uh, data visualizations and different things, you can analyze some of your traffic. So here's one example showing some of the traffic. So if we go into the timeline view, you can see how long of a recording this is. So this was made uh, Tuesday, July 21st, 2015, and it lasted only 5 minutes. So this is quite a bit of network traffic. Um, I'm going to show you a couple things that are a little bit more simple, and the use case that I know that PacketTotal as a company is trying to build up, and that's Honeypot traffic. So in our second episode, we had covered how to set up a honeypot and start hopefully getting some malicious files and different types of login credentials to see what's going on, what the footprint of the internet is at this point. So that's what we've been doing. It's been running for a while now, and I've set up a few tools. I have it SSH'd in right now, so I have a few tools on there that will help us see some of these login attempts. So we'll just go over that right now, and then kind of relay that into what PacketTotal can do for you in your analysis of these files and of these different types of traffic patterns, and why it's useful to maybe start submitting your traffic to them, even if you're not gonna use the research. I mean, it's just kind of valuable as a tool for cybersecurity researchers in general. So we're logging in as our Cowrie user, which is our honeypot, and then we're going into the bin. And I made a couple scripts just to kind of show. So play logs. I remember the last time we had recorded about this, I had some issues getting that to actually run. It's not as hard. I was just logging the wrong locations. So there's two different locations for these files that are accrued, and the TTY folder is where these log files are located. So if we do one, we can see, well, here, so play log, and then we're going to give it the see, so that's the first one. Here's the second one. So this is where it's located, and we can put one of these up. Hopefully, yeah. So there's a lot now, but here's one. So if we run that, this is what was typed in at the same time, given like the same time delay too, of what was typed into our honeypot once it was logged in. I have our honeypot accepting any SSH traffic, so any login. So it could be any password, any username. It's going to type it in, record it, and then see what happens afterwards in its virtualized shell. So, LVM, I think I can do that. Yeah, alright, so this is what the script is doing. It's logging in, and you see this is all one thing. It tried typing into the console, thinking it was something else. Obviously, whatever it thought it was, it's not. It's something that it thought that BusyBox was run natively on, and this is common. A common thing that a botnet does in identifying whether a host is valid, whether a host is a honeypot. So right now it's I think if it gets to this first check, this is just a checking for a honeypot, if I understand correctly. So in that case, it's gonna see, okay, it can't run BusyBox, and it's not going to be able to, and that applet isn't already there, so it's not going to run. However, in some of these you can see that it tries downloading a payload or something like that. So yeah, this is, as you can see now, we have a way to play the log output. And I have just a script I made that puts that on a timer, so you can see every log made in order. So it's recurring through that folder and just giving a 4-second delay, putting the next log in, and you know, a lot of these, some of them are very similar in how they attack. A lot of these Mirai variants use BusyBox. I assume it's just a very common way of you know, injecting things. Yeah, Miori is another variant. Yeah, most of these are botnets. Sometimes you're going to be able to find an IP in there that points to like a C2 server, like a command and control headquarters, so you will. And it's interesting to see, you know, how much traffic might be going to that website. I mean, how powerful is this botnet? And that's something I'd like to get into. And it's also something that this tool, PacketTotal, in the future, if this keeps, if they can get more people to use this and so forth, I think it could be used very valuably in identifying some of that, those sort of things. But yeah, so you get the idea with that play logs. And then here's another thing I made just to kind of show a lot of that traffic and what's going on. So this is showing that all of these are succeeding because in the configs I have it set to, you know, everything should be accepted. However, yeah, you can see a lot of these are different credentials. So username, password, Annie 2013. It's, you know, it's interesting to see what, you know, what's going on. Merlin's a common C2 server found on GitHub. I'm sure those credentials might be defaulted or something. I don't know. Support, you know, so different things like that, and you can kind of tailor your honeypot based off that traffic to, you know, what you might want. Let's say you only want different Mirai variants. You would only maybe trace traffic or maintain the logs that you kept of files with, you know, the certain string in it, or if you're tracing them, you know, through some sort of other analysis, you could do it that way. But anyway, so now you see we have all that data built up, and it's good for analyzing, and you can get a lot of stuff from it, and it's all in a JSON, and that's great and all. However, I'm looking for the easiest way to analyze this stuff, and if there's, you know, that's great for, you know, doing different sorts of stuff on my own. But if I want a quick way to, you know, analyze what traffic I'm getting, one cool tool now that's available is this PacketTotal. So what you would do is, as a root user, because you're analyzing the traffic of the sub user, Cowrie, we'll have the whole server. Yeah, we're gonna go back to root, and I already have this set up. I'm not gonna go through the setup process. Hopefully their README, and if they have an install section. I mean, this is a relatively new repo, and I feel like a lot of this stuff might change. So I just want to give an overview of, you know, some of the different ways this tool might be used, and I could see it being used in a lot of different ways, and not just for cybersecurity, just for network research in general. I mean, even in like an intro to you know, computer networks class, this would be invaluable, and I don't know, I appreciate it as a tool. I wish I had something like that when I was in those classes in college. I mean, Wireshark, it works with Wireshark, which is pretty nice. But anyways, yeah, so we'll go a little bit over just the repo in general. So there's 3 files right now that they use. So there's capture and analyze, upload and analyze, trigger and analyze. Right now we're just using trigger and analyze. and we're listening for any unknown connections on a screened command prompt. So if we go screen R, and I believe that's the one. Nope. Yeah, okay, cool. So what this is doing is it's saying, it's just a command I ran that says on the main internet interface, let's any time that you see traffic from a non-whitelisted IP, which is just the only IP I have whitelisted is my own IP, and what I do is I have anytime any traffic's coming into that server that's not whitelisted, let's trigger the command to run for a certain number of seconds or minutes. And I had asked the developers of this how long I should be running it for, and they told me an hour. So I found that really surprising because I figured you would want very small network fragments that you can see, you know, okay, well, this is an SSH attack and this is easily identifiable as an SSH attack. This is because of how small it is. But as they were saying, it's impossible to have it like that, and it's also they need it of a certain size so some of their libraries can work correctly. It's easier to find patterns, I guess, when you have for sure, when you have when you have more network traffic activity. Yeah, when you have more network traffic activity, you're going to be able to find more patterns, or patterns more easily, or be able to confirm that it is a pattern with more confidence. So actually, we just uploaded, as of a minute ago, we just uploaded a new PCAP. It's probably not going to be sourced yet or analyzed yet. However, it's been running for a long time now. So I'm going to go on their website and start showing what this is doing. So here's the main website. And as you can see, you can just upload your network files here, or you can see some trending ones that have been viewed quite a bit in the day. None of these are mine. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that sometime you can set a unique identifier, or maybe an API key that PacketTotal will let you use, so you can more easily identify what traffic is yours, if that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of, because I'm the only one using it right now, because I'm the one demoing it. It's easy to identify which one's mine. So how I've been doing that is I've been going to recent uploads, and because it uploads every hour, it's pretty easy to see, okay, well, this was me, this was me, this was me. And there's also, using their search feature, a way to get that traffic. It's looking like it's a little slow. But yeah, so this is the search feature up top. I'm gonna use that. It seems I don't know. Well, hopefully it's working. I think it is. Yeah. So I'll look for the IP. So get out of that screen. Like that. Yeah. And actually, it's just right there. So 4.248.126.32. Well, that's not good. I don't know. There it goes. I'm not sure if maybe it's just a little bit slow. I'm going to open it in another tab and hope. Oh, there it goes. All right, whatever the issue was, it's fixed. We're good. It might have been on my end. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So this is pretty fairly recognizable content. You're kind of seeing, you know, a list of PCAPs that were, you know, submitted. You can order it by different, you know, in different ways. You can do analysis on it, see some graphs, a timeline of the whole network, the span of the network over time. We're gonna search by IP again, just so you can kind of see what that's doing. So 104.248.126.1.32. So hopefully this works, and it will pop up all of my traffic. Yeah. So using that, we can kind of see all of the traffic I've uploaded from that honeypot. So that's the IP address of that honeypot. And you can see when we upload that traffic, it can track some different things about it that might tell us what's going on with the traffic at that time. So, for example, let's go to one that's kind of big. And we'll probably find, yeah, so malicious activity, suspicious activity, it's from the course of an hour, and there's 27 megabytes. So whatever was going on here was kind of interesting. And we see, so here's some of the malicious activity going on. I'm not that knowledgeable in what some of these are. I mean, we see the alert signature. I'm sure we can search that and maybe fake SSL cert used by a Trojan campaign. So that might be, it might be using something for a Trojan. From 443, that would make sense, like an SSL certificate that's not valid or something. I could see that being what that's doing. But yeah, so we can move on to you know, suspicious activity, and we see, you know, some other things going on. Some of this stuff's me, like 1020, some of it's me, but some of it's not, for sure. I see a lot of room for expansion with this, though. So I mean, right now there's a lot of ways to really easily get information about you know, who is attacking your server and what they're doing while they're doing it, and that's just in the sense of what this tool can be used for as a honeypot. I think that's what's so cool about this, is that it's so expansive what you could do with it. What I'm hoping that they kind of take it to in some direction is, if we go to this transferred files, we can see some of these files. And first of all, we see the type, so that gives us a good idea of what, you know, what might be on it, and maybe total bytes. So all of this is information that's kind of interesting. We can see where it's coming from. The Czech Republic. Interesting. We can download the file ID. Now I want to show you that with one of these. But I want to make sure that it's something, you know, we can actually. It's actually got something, you know, suspicious about it. I'm sure we can figure that out. I think there's a tab, yeah, extracted executable files. I think we can do it like that. Yeah, well, let's check other traffic, because for sure one of these is gonna have it. And I mean, the amount of botnet traffic is ridiculous. I mean, you can really see it and see how much it's coming from different places, and they're all pretty much doing, I mean, there is a lot of it's doing similar stuff, and just you know, finding different ways to infect the host, and also if there's any hosts on the system, to clear them out. I mean, it's interesting how they work. It seems like it's more of a race at this point than actually skill in finding it. I mean, maybe it's skill in finding the latest exploit, but it's just about how fast you can scan the internet with whether you get a root on someone's or on an infected IP or not. At least that's how it seems to me. I might be wrong about that. I'm sure we have some executables somewhere we can find. I mean, this is all information though that's interesting. We can see, you know, the SSH traffic in that amount of time. If we go to the timeline, yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of interesting all the things you can see, and you can also tag it. So for like a security researcher to help other people out, it would be very very nice for you to tag what the malware identified is, or maybe, you know, what type of traffic it is, something like that, so other people can see it and other people can study it, and see kind of how that type of activity looks on a you know, a larger scope. Well, all right. So let's take one of these just to show that we can. We'll get. I don't know. I wish we could get something juicy. I want something that actually might have you know, a file on it. Transferred files, so we can go like that, and hopefully. And that's another thing you can search for, I believe. Yeah. So here's an executable. I'm gonna bet that this is gonna be some sort of botnet, probably Mirai. So we are, I mean, in doing that, we're downloading a payload onto our computer, and you have to be careful with that. I mean, you don't want to accidentally execute it, obviously. I mean, this is fresh off, you know, someone's scraper. Chances are, you know, it's probably not looking for 64-bit or whatever you're running, but however, it could be, or it could be a payload that, you know, checks to see, if anything, you know, what architecture you're running. However, with a lot of these, it does seem like it's checking for specifically like ARM7 chips, or some sort of router that because they already have knowledge that they SSH'd into it, because that's the traffic we're searching. So you know, they're able to see different things. But given the knowledge that, okay, this bot just broke in with these credentials, we know that this is going to be this type of file system or this type of architecture, and that's how we can adjust our payload to infect that machine. And that's what we're studying right now. So this extraction we can upload into. So PacketTotal is something you can use to scan your files. It uploads, so any new malware, if it's uploaded there, it gets pinged. The hash gets loaded onto their servers, and then it's easy for other research analysts to see, okay, well, this has been found in the wild before, and this is where, or things like that, or just information about whatever you found. So if we do that, we can see, okay, yeah, so, well, yeah, it's looking like Mirai. That's what it's looking like. Community. These are other people finding it on honeypots. The attempt. So this is a C2 server, possibly. You know, DVR helper is one that I've seen a lot of them use. Telnet, so it's sometimes. So I also have this Cowrie honeypot directing port 21. So that's FTP or yeah, FTP, SFTP. One of them's on 22, one of them's not. I think FTP's on 21. I think that's right. Anyways, not important. All that traffic's getting put up to PacketTotal, and it's a way to you know, really easily see what's going on your network. I wouldn't, you know, don't upload things that you're not worried about being, you know, available to the public. It is network traffic activity, so there's an amount of responsibility that you need to have for your network when uploading this up. I think the best use case for me right now, and what I hope other people will do, is to use this as a honeypot traffic port, where you just send all your traffic there, and the more people they can get, you know, analyzing their traffic, I think maybe we'll be able to get a more clear understanding of the attack scene of the internet. I mean, maybe that's something that's already you know, public knowledge, but at least for me, this is an interesting tool, and it's interesting because of you know, the things it can do for me. Yeah, and I just want to go over one more thing that I thought was interesting. I don't think I've shown it yet. We'll just go to some random one that I can click graphs on. Maybe that one. Yeah. So I've talked to the developers, and they say they have a lot more plans. I'm hoping that they add some geo by IP data visualization, whether that's latitude and longitude. I've had some issues with that, specifically with that first episode with Arby's, scraping all the Arby's locations. It's like, you know, you can have an address, but that's not going to give you latitude and longitude. Luckily with IP, it's pretty straightforward to getting that to latitude and longitude. However, it's going to be something that might be a challenge for them. But yeah, you can see some really just clean data, and it's things that, yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to see with all those local files, and if you zip that all up and start analyzing it by hand, you're going to be able to find it. However, this is what you want anyways, and it's already done for you. I mean, you can see, you know, okay, well, these are the transactions by alert signature. Let's go to, you know what, I do want to go to my traffic, and we'll go and see some of the SSH traffic and what that's doing. And I'm getting a lot of traffic on my SSH port because I'm a honeypot. I mean, it's just, like, that might not be normal, depending on your network. But yeah, so yeah, we can go to the graphs, and we see sessions over time. So just, I mean, I just really like how clean it is. You know, you have three attacks right there, or sessions, but they're on port 22, so they're attacks. That's the only person using 22. But yeah, you can kind of see the client they were using, or what they're saying they're using. Authentication success versus failure. I'm surprised by that. I'm wondering if it's because I ran it before with them not being successful. I don't know. But I feel like all of them should be successful. But that's interesting. Destination IP. Yeah, so just a bunch of different stuff, and I mean, maybe that's not the best way. Some of these might not be the best way to visualize the data. Some of it might already be preset. but it's very customizable. There's a lot to look through, and I think it's just you know, it's a fun tool to just play around with. I mean, there's a lot that could be done with it, and I'm hoping that they take it to those places. I mean, you can already export. It's already a very clean feeling application. I don't know. I do like it, and I hope you do too. I think that's going to be all for this video. It's going to be kind of short. I'm not sure what I'm running at, but yeah, no coding today. I just wanted to show you kind of some of that traffic that I've been getting. What and what it's just something that you can use that traffic to help other people with. You know, this is pretty useful for students, researchers. It's useful for a lot of people. So thank you for watching.